wow. And be able to walk across this way without banging in the, yeah. I mean, it freed up a lot, it's amazing. We gained some space here, and I just love it. Mm-hmm.
Isn't it time to stop reliving your past hurts and move on to a bright and hopeful future?
I have a right to be upset, but I don't have a right to be wounded for the rest of my life. So I choose to be healed.
Get rid of the bitter poison that unforgiveness administers to the soul with Bishop David G. Evans. Forgive again, live again.
It's a liberating experience, and being able to forgive someone and forgiving yourself. It's liberating.
Forgiveness will deliver me in 3 dimensions. From what happened, from who it happened with, from when it happened. Because sometimes you'll get freed from the what, but the who will still have you bound.
This highly sought-after 4-part message of healing can be yours on CD or DVD. Act now, and we'll include Bishop's book, Healed Without Scars, with your order absolutely free. All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings. You can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live, 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah!
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up to the minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real and weapon of warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to On Point. We're so glad that you can join us on this beautiful Saturday morning. Welcome as always. We ask that you would please share this program, whatever platform you're on, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and get people into the conversation as we talk about life, politics, scripture, religion, church, all those things. Yeah, right. All those things. You can smell it fresh too. All those things that center around a biblical center for life and all that good stuff. Bishop Evans is here. Please give us a call at 866.
Good morning.
743-8267. Again, 866-743-8267. We got a bunch of things to talk about. A lot of stuff to talk about. If we forget to, it's all right. And if you missed, get ready for communion service tomorrow night. Of course, watch everything tomorrow, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Today, drive-in service. And then communion tomorrow at 6. It's going to be a great time. Again, join us today at noon, drive-in service, if you can. And again, we hope you guys are all doing well. The fall is coming. Praise the Lord.
Why is that good?
Because I like hoodie and boot season. I like it a little chill. I'm tired. I'm over the warmth now.
I'm over you like in the cold.
Thank you, Bishop.
I came outside. I felt some wind. I said, "Oh boy, it's gonna be pretty cool." So I like wearing sweaters. It's cool.
I like sweaters too, but I like summer better.
Summertime.
You like them that much? Carry one with you all the time. That way you feel like you're all right.
I get hot too. I like wearing them. Put them on. I like wearing
just
them.
carry it with you. That's all.
But see, y'all like that hot weather.
Drape it across your back while you're sitting in your
office. As soon as y'all walk outside, you sweating and that's
no, I don't be sweating as soon as I walk outside.
That's uncomfortable. You know what? Like right now, it's actually good. If it was like this for a long time, I'd be fine. Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, you don't control the weather.
Right.
This is true. I wish So
I'd rather sweat than have frostbite.
You with the frostbite, but sweating and frostbite are like two extremes. It's like one is deathly, the other one's not. Not necessarily. But y'all give us a call as we enjoy our time today. So we have a few things go on. We could talk about Trump. Well, the accusations. I hate to talk about these topics without full 100% confirmation, even though I mostly believe it's true.
Which is what?
The Trump calling the soldiers losers and not want to go to the funeral.
Well, he called a guy that was a veteran while he was alive a loser. Why is this so? Yeah. And why is he suddenly saying that he wouldn't say such a thing? And calling, saying what kind of animal would say that? Well, you've not been very complimentary of people that have served, and anybody that was caught in his eyes, my president is wrong on this. Yeah. Anybody that's been caught in his eyes as a prisoner of war was a loser.
Yeah, and he even did say, now they excuse this, he even did say that he prefers a savior that wasn't crucified. So, but our evangelical friends don't mind that statement, I guess, because at the time,
Why not?
at the time he wasn't a Christian, he was a babe in Christ, and now he's
That's a bunch of crap. If anybody else had said it, look, the guys I know, anyone else had said anything close to that, they would have been called them a heretic, whether they were saved 1 day or 10 days,
Absolutely.
or 10 years or 50 years.
absolutely,
It's heretical in its statement.
absolutely.
All right, so I don't know.
I would respect somebody. I know somebody who's religious, and they say they don't think he's saved at all. They just believe in conservative politics.
I can
I can respect that.
Okay, I can respect it. Say what it is.
Yeah, just say what it is.
But don't say Jesus sent him to the
Yeah.
Jesus came back to the White House.
Right. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I can respect.
What
it.
Jesus they talking about?
Right. I don't. Their view of Jesus is this masculine,
Come on, man.
Herculean.
I get. All right. Say you don't like the fact that he's a regular looking guy. You want to make him out to be, buffed up and everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't change the facts.
No, it doesn't. And they forget that Jesus got victory through peace and through dying on the cross, not through sending a whole army in there to try to
And part of his thing
kill
was,
everybody. Like
suffer not the children.
Like.
I'm watching this guy yesterday, and I tend to watch not only people that agree with my point of view, I watch those that don't.
Yeah.
So they got this real big thing going on now, how the repetition in a song is enchantment.
Oh, you saw that video where the guy was talking about the beats and stuff?
Do you understand that same guy, if you look at him, he is willfully ignorant as it relates to what my president does not do right.
Yeah.
Especially the moral stuff. Now he's telling everybody else they're possessed and you guys are being used by the devil and all this stuff. But he won't acknowledge wrong because it's not what he supports. So he's condemning the whole music industry, and I think he's a frustrated musician.
Yeah.
How many Christians own labels? They don't.
Yep.
How many? And he's trying to draw the difference between, what was it? A Christian artist signing a contract with a secular label. Talking about what the secular label stands for. Is anything more liberal than YouTube?
Right. Yeah, you can.
You found a comfortable place for yourself on YouTube amidst all of the stuff that I've seen is offered on YouTube, and it certainly ain't holy.
Yeah. And I'm sure the channel that he was having the conversation on probably is not owned by somebody saved.
Well,
not run by somebody.
But he's just kind of. These guys are so busy being upset. Like another guy saw everybody's a false prophet, and I believe it comes from the fact that God did not choose to heal him.
Okay.
But now everybody that's talking about faith and all that kind of stuff is just false prophet.
Okay.
So he's got this angry, pull apart everything somebody says that he doesn't like.
Okay.
Which is easy to do.
Yeah.
Especially in the context that we're in. So I don't get the harshest critics of people. Normally are the most vulnerable.
Okay.
What is wrong with I support this guy?
Yeah.
But this I don't like.
Yeah.
When Obama did the thing with the unisex bathrooms and all that, I supported him, but that was wrong in my eyes.
Yep.
What's wrong with saying that?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like a real professional here.
But I mean, again, they're so used to it, right? It does feel better.
Man, this is like it's like amazing, Phil. Our broadcast studio has stepped up a notch or two here. We were kind of fundamental, and now we're fancy now. We're still in the same alphabet, but we went from fundamental to fancy. Amen. Yeah, Crystal's trying to catch up with the F's. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Okay. Yes. All right. All right. So you don't believe you are skeptical about?
No, I'm not
report.
skeptical about it.
Okay.
It's just for his group. They want like 100% proof. There's no video of it. It's just somebody saying that he said it. Now, what they can get him on is that he said that he called his wife about going to the thing because he felt bad or something like that. But his wife was on the trip with him. He made it like she was like somewhere else, and he called her to let her know how he was feeling about not making it to the cemetery in France.
But she was with him.
She was with him on the trip.
So why lie about that?
I'm not saying he didn't say it. I'm just saying that, some people, they want 100% proof, and this is not something you can 100% prove. But based off his pattern of behavior, I can believe
it doesn't seem out of the norm.
It doesn't seem out of the norm.
Okay.
Yeah.
1-866-743-8267. 1-866-743-8267. This is On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Live every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Any smart device at David G. Evans 1. Give us a call, 866-743-8267. So, another individual, tape was revealed of another African-American man that was shot by police, and they kind of suppressed the tape for how long?
Well, he wasn't shot. He was suffocated.
Another man?
Oh, which one are you talking about now?
I saw tape on another one. They said they got a new tape, and the body cam tape was suppressed for a period of time. And there's another guy. I just saw his name. It's not George Floyd, not someone else.
This guy Daniel Pruitt. Yeah, Pruitt. Yeah, that's the one. He had psychological issues. I guess he was having one of his episodes, and I think he was doing some what are those drugs, the LSD type drugs. Okay. So he's out in the street naked. And because he was having one of his moments.
So he wasn't armed?
He wasn't armed.
Okay.
7 of them came and got him. They put one of those things over his head so his saliva wouldn't get on them.
Okay.
They basically pinned him down, and he suffocated.
In their custody?
In their custody. This is on the street, outside. Yeah.
While they were arresting him?
Yes.
No wonder they suppressed the tape. I need somebody to call me and let me know what is right about that. I mean, if you support this kind of stuff from our law enforcement, tell me what you think is right about what we just described. Tell me what you think is right about George Floyd. Tell me what you think is right about an unarmed man being shot in the back 7 times. I just need to understand the mindset of someone who thinks that is okay.
Yeah.
But I need you to let me know, would it be okay if it happened to someone that you love?
Yep.
To me, that's the proof of everything. If I want something for you, it ought to be okay for someone close to me.
Absolutely.
So what I don't want an opinion where you're not drawing a comparison between, okay, if it was your son, your brother, your father, would it be okay? The way these people have been treated, would it be all right?
Right. Yep.
Would it be lawful, or would you want to have some kind of changes made? Would you want this to be allowed to happen to somebody else's family? That's all I need to know.
Yeah. And for them to cover it up, they tried to say he died from an overdose or something like that, but then the coroner showed he died from asphyxiation.
Well, if it was the right thing, there'd be no need for a cover-up. If they felt like they were within procedure, there'd be no need for a cover-up.
They were hoping that the video wouldn't come out.
But there is a disturbing tendency where even though cameras are present, there's not significant change in conduct, which means to me there is some level of permission available, or some level of process where, you can do this, but don't worry about it. But the other thing that's disturbing me is that at the height of these incidences, other incidences are happening. So what does that mean? That there's, is there some tacit permission to do these things, or is the process such that you may have a couple rough weeks, we're going to suspend you with pay, but you'll be okay in most cases?
I mean, if the institution historically has allowed you to get away with this stuff, and then it's not all his fault, but if you have a president that confirms it by saying rough him up a little bit when you're arresting him, the permission was there before him, so you can't blame all of it on him.
Right.
But if you got a government, the top governor, top person in the country, kind of saying it gives a little more push too.
Okay. So I'll use myself as an example because I don't want people to think I'm being unfair. So even though I'm not responsible for everything that happens around here. I'm accountable for everything that happens around here, or whichever word you want to use. When the buck stops at my desk.
Yep.
Even if I don't know about it,
Yep.
people are doing it. I find about it, it's connected to me. So organizationally,
Yeah.
the buck stops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using me.
Yep.
I don't understand how people in office, in charge, can lay all their present blame on their predecessor. Now, when you first come in, there may be some overflow.
Yep.
But if the condition didn't exist before your predecessor came, and it now exists within your context of your leadership, when do we take responsibility for what's happening on our watch? This is not Bush's, Obama's, Clinton's America. This is the America in which my president has been president.
Yep.
So why push everything off on everybody else when it's your watch with your people? And then when you got folk that are illegal, you just kind of forget them real quick to act like they didn't exist and when you recruited them. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep. It doesn't make, but we're expecting somebody to be a leader who's never really had to be one. Somebody was in charge all his life, but I don't think a leader all of his life. But now he's even. Did you see the ad they're trying to make where he went somewhere in the country and they hashtagged it somewhere where something bad happened? Biden's America. Now they're trying to put it on Biden now.
How does he get to be Biden?
Biden's not even president. Look, when Ebola happened, when that thing happened in Dallas during Obama's presidency, they were saying it's all his fault.
Absolutely.
You know, this is his responsibility.
Absolutely.
Now
His
all of a
watch.
sudden, it's something else.
1-866-743 Crystal, somebody's calling. 1-866-743-8267. 1-866-743-8267. Now, this intelligence officer stuff in Congress made me ask the question, what have they become aware of that they don't want to report? This is not about future stuff. This is about stuff they have in their possession right now that they don't want to report to Congress.
They want to send handwritten notes and not be questioned. They know what's going on. It's
I'm an American, and I don't think that's right.
Yep. It's not right. It's not right at all. And the crazy thing is they're getting away with it. That's the crazy thing.
How's the 17-year-old acting in self-defense? He brought the gun to the fight.
And
everybody he shot was unarmed.
Yep.
Okay.
And they asked the president about, how do you feel about what he did? Doesn't feel much of anything. Of course, because the kid's a Trump supporter, so he,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Trump organization is in the news again?
Yeah.
I'm wondering this. How can I say this tactfully? Is there am I misperceiving? Or is there some sense of lawlessness among the positional leaders in our country right now?
Oh, yeah. It's always been like that, yeah.
But I mean, it's so overt.
Yeah,
that
now it's blatant, yeah.
At least there was some subtlety before. And you could wonder whether it was illegal or not. But we're doing things that show the world, and this is what's bothering me, where it's as though we are intentionally trying to appear to be something less than a democracy. That's the perception I think we're creating. And I'm wondering why the patriots are not saying anything. What is this secretly what they wanted? Are they?
Yeah. It's their view of democracy. Because remember, we're considered a republic with democracy principles.
Democrat. Okay.
Because we're yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's always been set up this way, and it's supposed to be a democracy amongst a certain groups of people. To me, they're mad because it's not the way it was always set up to be. It's almost like we're good with y'all and screw the rest of y'all.
That's not right. That's why we call this American idea.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
All right, let's go to Florida. We need some sunshine this morning. Hello, Tom.
Hey, good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick.
Morning.
You're talking about responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and that was coined. The buck stops here by Roosevelt. I think our president doesn't take responsibility for anything bad, but he will take credit for anything good.
Yeah, and you really, as a leader, you can't do that. Leaders, as the famous words of Don Corleone, he likes to hear bad news immediately, so he can respond to it. So we have to be able to receive both good and bad news.
The other thing was Fox News last night actually confirmed about this, these allegations about him saying what he said about the military.
Yep.
They confirmed it?
One lady confirmed it.
Yeah.
Somebody came later.
They
and tried
confirmed
to
it.
They confirmed it.
AP confirmed it.
Yeah.
Washington Post, New York Times. They have they're not going to reveal the sources, but they have 4 different sources that have said, yeah, that's what he said.
And the problem that our president has is that his historic patterns don't testify against the possibility that this could also be true.
Yeah.
Because he said some outrageous stuff about veterans, to veterans, specifically, what was it, McCain?
They played that last night. They played the whole segment, what he said.
The problem is pattern recognition. And you would hope that he wouldn't say something that people that died in the service of our country were suckers, but this name calling thing that he has going on, which is very pubescent, is real.
Yeah. And they were trying to get in his head last night, and they made some comments that make sense if you know the guy.
Yeah.
They said that he really believes in his heart that you're a sucker if you go over there and get shot.
Okay.
And he made a comment that what's in it for you? Like, you really believe if there's nothing in it for you personally, that it's that it's not just a bad thing he's doing. He really believes what he's saying.
Well, I think he's been uncontradicted for so long, and then he has a circle of people around him either are not allowed or are afraid to contradict him. I know a few very national figures, extremely visible figures, whom I was told don't bring up any negative information to them unless they broach the subject first. And the reason I don't have a relationship with them right now is I'm not going to be handcuffed like that.
Yeah, I think they're afraid to tell the king he has no clothes on.
Yeah.
But
unbelievable.
But
I'm just. How are things in Florida, Tom? We're not hearing a whole lot. How's the virus going on? What is the state of the people's mindset?
Pete, the numbers are going down. The mayors are taking over from the governor, it appears, as far as making people wear masks.
They had to.
Yeah, right here in Broward County, the sheriff came out yesterday. There's going to be a $250 fine. And he's very, very forceful in saying, I know there won't be people at the beach acting up. There won't be people at restaurants.
Yeah.
But there'll be a lot of big house parties, and we will be there. So I think they are enforcing it down here. And you see people wearing masks now, where they weren't before. So things are getting better.
I was on my way from work last week, and I saw what I thought I saw was the party being dismissed. But I only actually saw the last 90 people leaving the party.
Come around the corner from me, right? Yeah.
Young folk, 80 or 90 of them that I saw.
Wow.
One face mask in the whole group. And I understand the party had somewhere around 200 people. And the individual was charging upwards of $100 per person for the pool party and everything in the backyard. And I saw at least 80 or 90 of our own young people walking. When I say our own, African American children, one face mask in the group, and they were walking. The police had come and broken it up. And I happened to be going through the neighborhood just at that time.
Wow.
There's still too many young people who think they're invincible.
Yeah.
And this is not going to, affect them or their family.
Unbelievable stuff. What time is it, Phil?
It's 9:30.
Let's go to a break.
Okay.
I gotta blow my nose.
Yeah.
This cold air on my head is kicking me, man. This is On Point. We'll be right back.
It's the catalyst for change you've been waiting on. New Mind, New Me from Bishop David G. Evans.
I want to be loved. Why do I take the person that loves me and kick them to the curb? I want to be wealthy, but I spend all my money. You were created and given a slave, a doulos, a servant called your mind. Your mind is out of order when it questions your command.
If you are ready for true transformation, Bishop David G. Evans would like to bless you with the New Mind, New Me 4-message DVD set. Order today, and you will also receive Bishop Evans' national best-selling book, Healed Without Scars, as well as the Healed Without Scars music CD.
My mind's going where I tell it to go. It'll never go back. It's my mind. It's going to do what I say.
All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today. Be prepared to watch a new you emerge.
What's the number again? 866-743.
8267. Oh,
Thank you.
my goodness.
8267.
As my grandmother would say, Pastor Nick, you're not far enough down the road for all that.
These phone numbers, man. I just can't remember all these phone numbers anymore.
Welcome to the jungle, man.
These darn phones is messing me up.
Let's go to Robin from Delaware. Hello, Robin. How are you?
Good morning, Bishop and Pastor Nick and everyone. How are you?
You doing all right?
Yes, I'm doing okay. I'm taking one day at a time.
Okay.
But I just have two quick comments and a question.
Okay.
Regarding, you were just asking how we feel about the incident that happened with the young man who suffocated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think that was wrong, and I really believe that the police need to be, reformed.
Robin.
Yeah, I'm turning it down now.
There you go. All right.
I believe that the police need to, be reformed. And I never forget when I heard a reporter ask Trump, about how the blacks keep getting killed by the police officer. Mm-hmm. And Trump said, well, there's more white that get killed by cops. And I just couldn't believe that he said that.
Well, he tends to have... he tends to do a childlike reflection, what I call a deflection, what I call, like if I say something to my grandson, he immediately blames it on Raina. Mm-hmm. And that's what children do. They immediately push it off. But it's really a very clear spiritual problem, because you remember Adam and Eve in the garden, when
Mm-hmm.
God comes down and starts asking them questions, they blame everyone but themselves. So it is quite pubescent to try to find someone else to lay it on so you don't have to answer for what you've done or said.
That's correct. That's so correct. But I really just called just to say thank you, Bishop and Pastor Nick, for all the teachings and encouragement since I've been there for 16 years.
Wow.
And I really appreciate it because, y'all tell us that you love us, but
Mm-hmm.
y'all show it.
I appreciate that.
And that's what makes, a difference, at Bethany. But something you said a while ago, and I'm going to get off, regarding the ventilations when
Mm-hmm.
people are in the hospital with the COVID-19.
Yeah.
I had picked up a couple of nurses through Uber, and we were, happened to be talking about that. And they said that the doctors are trying to see what can be done because he was saying that the ventilators is what's causing a lot of deaths.
Yep, absolutely.
Because it's pushing the virus through the lungs and through the body.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you had said something about that.
The last thing you want to do is get on the ventilator.
Mm-hmm. Get on the ventilator,
but
correct.
If they don't put you on one, they have to do this protocol of every 10 minutes of beating your back and stimulating your lungs and all kinds of stuff that they have to do every 10 minutes. And of course, they don't have the personnel for that. But one of our nurses was in the hospital, and the nurses told her, we're going to do what we need to do for you. And they sat her up every 10 or 15 minutes and did this whole thing because your lungs are in your back.
Right.
They beat her back every 10 or 15 minutes, made her get up and walk around, just, those types of things. And she recovered well. But they say and the ventilator builds up a dependence.
Yeah.
So it actually weakens your body over time. So
right.
They have to look for another way.
Right. All right. Well, Bishop, my question is for
that wasn't your question?
Right. She said you
no,
that
was my question. My question is for those that are on Facebook, you and Pastor Nick.
Uh-huh.
I've designed 2 inventions, but I need someone that has app design, mechanical engineer maybe, and if it's okay to give my email, so if anybody knows somebody that can help me.
Give it to Crystal.
Okay.
Yeah, give it to Crystal.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all later today for driving service.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Angela from Kentucky, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop Evans.
So good to hear from you again.
We're in, as you know, in Kentucky. It's Derby time.
Absolutely.
And a lot is going on in Louisville today because they are protesting no Derby, no justice, no Derby.
Okay.
And so a lot of our African American and other preachers are gathering for the protest at Churchill Downs, and then they have a lot of groups that are opposed to them that have also said that they are going to show up. And so we definitely need some prayer for this area today. We don't want anybody murdered or in jail. So we need a lot of prayer for what's going on in Kentucky today.
I've got a question for you, Angela. I'm a big fan of the Derby. How are they going to hold it? Because if you've ever seen a sardine-packed event, that's one of them. So they're just having the horse race? They're not having the people in the stands?
I've heard several things. I've heard that they were just going to hold the horse race without the people in the stands.
Okay.
And then I heard that they're going to have select people in the stands. So I think probably
would be the owners.
Those exactly.
Owners and their families and the trainers.
So it's going to be like a private event, but it's still an event that the world looks at. And so
I would imagine those that occupy the boxes and the suites probably would be allowed to come too.
Yes.
Which is going to be a problem.
Yes, it's going to be a big problem because those that are protesting understand that it's still a world stage, even if people are not in the stands, and that the world is looking, and so they're looking to bring as much attention to the Breonna Taylor case as possible. But these groups that want to come out to oppose them could make the situation very sticky. So we definitely need prayer for this weekend, this entire weekend in this area. The second thing that I wanted to say was I saw the president, I don't know when this interview was. It could have been months ago, years ago. You know how the media does.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked him, being a Christian, if he would quote what was his favorite Bible verse.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They didn't ask him that.
And he said, "Oh no, that's very private. That's not something that I want to share."
There's a lot of them I like. I like a lot of them. He didn't know.
And the reporter pressed him further and said, "You don't have one Bible verse that you can quote?" And he said, No, it's too private to quote.
Yeah, I like a lot of the Bible and stuff.
And when he said, I like the whole Bible. And they said, Old and New Testament. And he just, he kept trying to deflect that question. Now, one Bible verse? I mean, just one Bible verse.
I don't know why he was asked the question. Did you happen to see the interview with Laura Ingraham a couple days ago?
No.
She tried to throw him every softball she could, trying to help him because he was saying things that just were deteriorating in the interview, and she kept trying to help him, and she eventually just could not help him, give an answer that would not be offensive or destructive. It was, she literally, I saw, and I'm not a fan of hers. She literally tried to, she didn't throw him hardballs. She lobbed softballs at him. Just, please hit this one. And he kept swinging and missing. And I'm like, what are you going to do?
I mean, that seems to be a pattern because, the guy that was interviewing him was throwing very soft balls as well. And he just kept saying, no, it's too private. And, all of us in the Christian faith know anytime you get the opportunity to witness, you take that opportunity.
Sure.
And at that point, he was still unable to take that opportunity.
I mean, he could have said Jesus wept and got off the hook.
I know something. But he might not like a savior that weeps though, so you never know.
But he might not have known that one.
Right.
He gave nothing. He gave absolutely nothing, and that just kind of grieved my heart a little bit.
Well, Angie, you be safe down there this weekend. You know what? This national experiment that we have watched from afar, and when I call it the national experiment because in every state, in every month, there's been an attempt to bring people back together. And every one of them apparently has failed. Spikes, resurgent, they tried it with the kids. Half the kids get sick. They try it at universities. Universities have to shut back down. They're trying it in restaurants. We're going to have a problem again. They eat, I can't wait to get back to the gym, but I'm not going back into a gymnasium because I keep seeing these experiments fail.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. They're trying stuff. And then, it's just...
Except trying to stay home.
Yes.
I mean, that's the one thing that they said will actually work.
Are you actually going to perish if you don't go to the beach this
just
weekend?
Stay home.
Are you going to die an unnatural death because you don't go to the beach this weekend?
Right.
Yeah. I don't get it. Do you have to have a yard party?
Yeah.
Does somebody have to get sick for us personally for you to finally say, okay, this thing may be real?
Yep.
I'm not understanding us.
I think that people do not want to be alone with their own thoughts. And being forced to be alone makes you look at things you don't want to look at. So the social part is what's driving them.
But those of us that claim the Lord, all the commandments boil down to one thing. Love God, love people. That's what it boils down to. Love God, love people. And we are watching a void so vast being revealed in our sight as there is no love of God as nearly as pervasive as we've been boasting about.
True.
We're not concerned with other people, which is why we insist on these mass gatherings and then kind of just chalking it up, oh, they had something wrong with them before this happened. No. I know young people, 40s, 30s, that have passed away.
Right.
40s, healthy. So you don't have to have some pre-existing condition to die from this thing. Children are passing away from it.
Yes.
So it's
a lot more children since school has come back.
I mean, it's just the dumbest. They're not going back. And when I tell you it's a, as my mother would say, a trial and a tribulation.
An arduous task, yes.
Because the reality is there's some kind of consciousness within us that the kids can be occupied by the computer. In actuality, when they go to school, there's adult supervision in the room with them every moment of the day.
Right.
So, unfortunately, the revelation is, yes, they're learning from home, but you've got to be in the room with them the entire time to hear what's going on.
True.
Because they got sense enough to know Miss Smith is at school and I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Start doing all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Just make sure I stay on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Playing with toys in the lap.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Oh my goodness.
I think parents are very intimidated by the task of helping their children to this level. But I think this is just what our parents need. Because as an educator, I would tell my parents, you're the expert about your child.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to work with me so that we can help your child. And the parents never feel like that they're the experts, or maybe they didn't do well in school, or maybe they're not comfortable with computers. But this is a real challenge for us to step up.
Look at it, Angela. Your entire life up until this point, you depended on a teacher to occupy your child for 7-8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, unless they switch some things back to fundamentals, I don't know how to teach this new box math. I know how to carry the one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And unfortunately, I'm going to teach them how to carry the one so they can do the stuff in their heads.
Right.
Because that box ain't working for me. Isn't working for me. I'm sorry. It's just they've complicated very simple things for what reason I don't know.
Yeah.
I know one of the things was a Singapore math when my children were in school, and they were saying that they switched to the Singapore math because the children in Asia were doing better. I said the children are not doing better because of the Singapore math. They're doing better because they have parameters and boundaries that they have to fall within.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes we're trying to get a result. And it's a cultural thing. It's not an educational thing.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, we're very challenged by that.
Well, we tend to try other things that don't fit the cultural norms where we exist. Just like when cell church was all the rage. Mm-hmm. The cell churches were originated because people could not get to the main sanctuary during the week. We don't have those issues anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Thank you, Angela.
Okay, you guys have a good one.
Talk to you. Who's next?
It's 4.
Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Bishop, good morning. Good morning. Pastor Nick, staff, how y'all doing today?
We're trying to make it, man. How's the weather down in Florida?
Well, I think it was like 80, 83 last night, 83, 85 at night.
Okay,
so they give you a...
You didn't have to put a sweater on last night, then?
No. Okay, Pastor Nick would not be comfortable.
So y'all electric bills got to be high all year long, then. Because that area got to be running it all day.
All the time.
Every day.
Just like he complains about the heating bills during the wintertime, even though he loves winter.
Well, no, that's because I have a family. If it was up to me, I was wearing sweaters around the house. I got kids and a wife, so I got to have the heat on more. I turn the heat on at certain times.
This part of my consciousness he is not adopted.
I had my sweatpants on and my sweater, sitting there watching TV, chilling.
Sitting up fully clothed in the house?
Yeah, it's comfortable. But y'all y'all be wearing y'all jammies and stuff in the house. What's wrong with that? Y'all can do that, but I can't wear a sweater in the house. Just saying.
No, but you're wearing it for not a reason of comfort. You just don't want to pay for the heat.
Well, no, I don't like it too hot. I don't like it too cold right in the middle. So I enjoy that middle space.
I got to pray for Tiffany.
There are several
that
things.
Middle space. She gets cold at the drop of a dime.
I don't blame her. I got to pray for Tiffany. Yeah, Danny, I'm sorry. We digress. We digress.
There are several things that happened last week that was very much disturbing, and I definitely I don't believe I know it was all staged.
Okay.
It just didn't happen the way that it was portrayed to have happened.
Okay.
The situation in Wisconsin, and if you look at this and reflect on it, it'll all make sense. The president decides that he's going to go and visit that particular area.
Right.
Okay. When he goes there, he only visits or speaks with only one particular group of individuals.
It was a campaign rally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're taking my thunder here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's how he won in 2016.
That's campaign rally.
He can go to everybody.
And there weren't many people there. Yep. So that's pretty consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but then what happened is that he makes an excuse for the 17-year-old that shot 3 people, killing 2.
And blew the arm off one guy, the guy that lived.
Right. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, he made an excuse. And then on top of that, when he said that what happened with the police, he used when he was interviewed after that, he used an expression that is used in golf. He said, you have police that choke.
They choke, yeah, I saw it.
Okay? Now, if you use that as an example in golf, if you choke, you get to play again.
Okay.
But if you shoot somebody, you don't have a second chance.
Right.
And then after that, when they had the meeting, I'm looking, and behind him, they had the flags, and they had on these easels photographs of businesses that were burnt out. Okay. How in the world can you get enlargements that quick and have them set up? It's all staged.
I get it.
Okay? Then the people that were talking, the one particular businessman, he refused. He said, I'm not going to be used as a photo op. So what they did, yeah, the guy that was standing behind him, he wasn't an actual business owner. He sold the business before to someone else.
Okay.
And it just didn't make sense.
Wow. I'm amazed that, well, I don't know why I keep saying this, but if you're the president of the United States and you visit a city that's in turmoil, you normally would visit everyone who's being impacted by it.
Yes, that's the point.
And I'm not sure whether this is the correct thing to say, but I think it's important to say it. White Americans, some of them are about to experience the lack of value placed on their lives. Because historically you would have thought if it had been 3 black people that he shot, there wouldn't be a big deal. But he shot, according to what I understand, 3 white individuals. And they're trying to brush it over. So I'm not sure if there's a level of consciousness that's being raised, but this thing is not just about the color of your skin. It's about whether you are with or against. It's become extraordinarily divisive, and to me, culturally, very distinct. That now it's not about, we've been talking about the momentum that's being established as far as gun violence is related. I thought when the children were killed up in northeastern United States, that was going to cause a revolution in guns.
Right.
Then I thought when the Congress people were shot and killed at the baseball game outside of Washington, D.C., I said, okay, it's happened to them, it's going to cause a change. Nothing has caused a change. No matter what the color of your skin is, gun violence has not caused a change in the gun laws. So if it's not about people, it's not about, in this context, races, it's got to be once again about money. And then they find out the NRA is corrupt.
Exactly. And then how can you call armed citizens to come to assist the police?
I don't get that.
They're against vigilantes
and they
any
walk
other time.
right by you and they offer them water.
Any other context in the country would have been illegal. You can't leave your state with a gun and come to another state and walk down the street talking about you're helping people. It's mind-boggling to me where we are as a country right now. It's not what, people talk about constitutionalists and founding fathers. Was this what they were trying to get together? Okay, did I say something wrong?
No, I'm just saying. I think if you build a country on division from the beginning.
Is it built on division or conquest?
Well, to me, it's both. It's conquest by division too. So I mean, from the Native Americans to everything, you separate people from the door.
The country goes to war because they don't want to be a colony.
Mm-hmm.
Then we create welfare so we can create colonies within our own country. Because welfare colonizes people. Is this making sense to you?
Yes.
Now the plantation kind of concept is now called the hood. You know, and as long as things are maintained or contained in a certain geographic area, the rest of the country can behave as though they don't exist. We're talking about a slavery type of system.
Yes.
Oppressive, divisive. This is not what America's supposed to be. Land of the free. So is America a concept?
Land of the free market.
Land of free market.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's freedom because I want to be in control. I mean, here's my thing. The beginning of the United States was built off of violence, riots, looting, and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
We celebrate the 4th of July and then complain about people doing this. I'm not justifying it. I'm not justifying.
They call them protesters.
Yeah. They were looting,
The Boston
stealing.
Tea Party was not a riot; it was a protest.
It was protest by theft.
You got to get your terms correct.
Right. It was like, come on now.
You gotta use the correct terms.
Right. That's right. It's not
protest.
Them fighting for their freedom through that means was okay. But another group of people fights to get their freedom by the same means.
Rights.
Same thing.
In the same Constitution.
Got an issue.
You got an issue with it.
It's from the beginning. Just
we gotta go, Danny.
Okay. Be blessed.
Tell my sister I said hey.
Will do.
1-866-743-2667. We only got 4 minutes. Let's go to Jonathan. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I didn't think I was going to be able to get in.
No. We always have room for Jonathan.
Yeah.
I got to turn you down here. Okay.
How you feeling today, man?
Pretty good.
Okay.
The good news for the nation
Okay.
is that they were originally talking about COVID deaths would be like 10-15% of those who contracted it.
Okay.
It's now down real close to 3%.
Okay.
Long term, overall, from when they didn't know anything and people were dying of ignorance, to now it's right about 3%, and the real short term over the last week or so is about 2.5%.
Okay.
And the CDC has said that those dying purely of COVID are only about 6 or 9%, I forget, of the official death
That's
toll.
not what they were saying.
That's not what they said, John.
What they were saying was this is what the story was. They were saying that pure COVID deaths are 6%. Yes, that is true.
That's what I
Acknowledging
said.
that point. However, people are using that statistic to minimize the rest of the people that died. What they're saying is, well, those people died because they had a comorbidity.
No. If they didn't catch COVID, they would not have died.
That's my whole premise. So that 6% is relative. It's not a real point.
Either.
Come on, man.
They were alive before COVID.
They were alive before COVID came.
But I've heard doctors say that they had people that were dying. They were in the fatal, and then they got COVID. And then they died maybe a little bit quicker.
But the COVID made them die quicker. That's the whole point.
Jonathan.
They were already dying. They couldn't have stopped.
And that wasn't all of them, though. That was not all of them.
On, man. Does that make it better for you?
No. But all I'm saying is it's not a pure statistic. That's all.
It's pure enough to the person that died.
If somebody dies, for instance, somebody gets shot, they don't literally die from a gunshot wound. They die from bleeding out. But they still label it, they died by homicide, by murder.
Sure, absolutely. When they get COVID, a lot of times they die from the body's overreaction. But it's still from COVID.
But they still called a gunshot wound as the cause of death.
Jonathan, Jonathan, this is what my point is.
I'm sorry. Okay.
As believers.
Sorry, John. Sorry.
We can find no comfort in a person jumping off a cliff or being pushed off a cliff. We can't find any comfort in that. They're still dead.
But it's good to know why so you can address it.
Address it how? Like it's going to make it less lethal? You can't say, Jonathan, you can't say that a person with high blood pressure was not going to live another 20 years. You can't say that. But they caught COVID, and it exaggerated all their other health issues, as well as bringing them some new ones.
Well, the good thing is, on another related, is that I know doctors who they say they've had people with a lot of comorbidities, but given really good treatment, they didn't even have to go to the hospital. So there's really, I think there's a lot of
you're trying to
poor information.
You're trying to support something, Jonathan, that reality is not supporting. People are getting sick and people are dying. That's the bottom line on all this stuff.
Yeah, and that's bad.
Bad.
But the more we know about it, the better we can make it.
Oh, God. What we need to do is stop experimenting with the population and people stay home. So all this down to 3%, down to 6%, all it does is cause people to start putting people back together, and those percentages are temporary. We're experimenting. We're not gaining wisdom from the reality that we're going through. The common sense is, if getting together causes a rise, you stop getting together.
No, I'm not advocating getting together. I'm not advocating that at all.
Did we run out of time? Oh, Jonathan, you were on overtime today.
Well, bless you all anyway.
Talk to you, man.
Bless you, man.
Love your preaching.
Bye-bye. It's been On Point. See you next week.
Right. Bye, y'all.